All right, welcome back to the channel, you guys. This is how to get more done in 6 weeks than you have in the last 6 months. I'm going to show you the problem and why I think this happens and why you can't do it so far. I'm going to show you the negative impact on your business and how it was dealing with mine. And then I'm going to teach you the method that changed absolutely everything for your boy. So a couple of homework things that we got to get out the way. First, just so you know who you're talking to and who you're dealing with, I want to show you guys a couple of my clients that have been going through this. But first, we're going to start off with my boy Max. Now, Max has been working as an electrician full-time and trying to get to his full-time month, right? So he's been working, he's got some things in play. And one of the things that happened with Max is that he got absolutely obliterated by some tasks to be able to have to go through and submit paperwork after paperwork for something that he did nothing wrong, just to prove that he did nothing wrong, for months and months, all while having 3 kids under 3, working a full-time, like 60 hours a week job as an electrician, having to move and do all of this and request hundreds of documents in balancing. Now, most of us, if we were like Max, would absolutely crumble. And not only did he have to submit these documents, but there was time after time again that he started and had to stop and do it again and again and again. And what we taught with this method with Max is that he was able to chunk up the things that he was doing and not get overwhelmed and able to get it done, getting his Amazon store back online. And he's actually just a couple weeks from going full time because he's got approved for his funding and he's ready to rock and roll. So we're super excited this works, and we're going to break it down more and tell you guys some more stories about it here in just a second. And also one more thing for your head top: if you guys want more free resources and you want more of this entire thing that we're going to break down, this is just one section within this entire 45-minute guide that is posted to my YouTube channel and also here within the free community. You guys can do that. If you want to join our brand new free community, Freedom Finders, where we do lectures every single week, I go live in there. You can ask me a question directly. There's a bunch of resources. There's free challenges. There's everything you need to get that momentum right here for free. All you got to do to get in is just DM me the word, or you just got to follow me so it actually goes through, and then just DM me on Instagram the word freedom, and that will get you going. Now, let's talk about it. So the main problem we have is what I like to call, and you guys will hear more of, is called outcome obsession. Okay. I got this fancy Apple pencil because I can't write, but it's also not working too hot for Uncle Nat. So you guys get the point. Outcome obsession. Now, when I was going through this in the beginning of my business, I want to point to something right here where this is about me about 3 or 4 months ago. Okay. Now, in this time, I was so trying to figure out how to relay what I do to business owners. Now, at the end of the day, I have had unbelievable client results and success, and I have just more or less posted whatever helpful thing I could on the internet to be able to showcase my value, and I brought in clients. And I've tried absolutely 1,000 different variations of my offer, but it all boils down to one simple point, and this is why we're starting to see this North Star of messaging here, is that if you are an owner or founder who is absolutely obsessed with getting to any single level you want, okay, you're at 50K right now, you want to get to 100, you're at 20K, you want to get to 40, you're at 100K, and you want to get to 200K. If you obsess about hitting that goal, you are going to develop an incredibly short-term mindset. And this is one of the worst parts of outcome obsession, because you start to say things like, I need X, Y, and Z. So I have a client named Denise, and we'll talk a little bit more about it later, but we were talking about one of these types of situations where the fluctuation in when the funds are going to be there can be incredibly taxing. So even when you know that you have money coming in, if you're obsessed with getting to a place where your bank account never fluctuates under a certain level and you never have this, you are going to develop this short-term mindset and outcome obsession, okay? And what this typically looks like, and what it looked like for me, is where you wake up on Sunday night feeling super guilty about all of the things that you didn't do the week before, okay? And then you say things like, I'm about to lock in, okay? I'm gonna do deep work tomorrow, and I'm gonna get all of these things done all day tomorrow, and then my business will clearly get to where I was and I can feel good about this, right? And then there's a couple things that this is negative, but in the short term, there's some really big things that I think you probably have been dealing with. What will happen is if you are feeling like this and you're feeling guilty, a lot of the times where that's going to be the worst is during moments of rest and recovery. Okay, so these are days off, you're with your family, you're off work, you're not in the office, maybe you actually are on vacation, okay, and these days are not actually ever getting to accomplish what they were set out to do. You're never resting or recovering, because every time you do, this guilt on our perceived needed task list becomes the only thing our brain can focus on. We aren't present. We are in total chaotic anxiety mode. And this is where shiny object syndrome will hit the most. This is why you see entrepreneurs restarting things, doing it a new way, trying so and so. This is because they don't understand that what they are doing very well could be totally fine just the way it is. Some things just take time. And when you have this outcome obsession, you lose the ability to have that long-term mindset, and you start to really only think about, okay, what do I need to do today to get to where I want to go today? And that will not work at all in any area of business. And because some of the negative impacts that has on your business is you start to do a couple things. And mainly this is some of the worst things. One, you don't delegate anything. Okay, there's no delegation whatsoever. No deli. Okay. And so what happens is you end up working all the fucking hours in your business and believing that that's the only way that it can be done, because you don't have the long-term mindset to be able to know that, hey, if I set up something today that's going to bring in more customers, it's going to be an investment into the business, it's going to help grow. In 90 days or maybe even a year from now is when I'm really going to see this. So that means what I'm doing needs to be a feeling of detachment. I have to let things cook. Some things need more than just a week to work. Okay, looking obsessively for something that's going to catapult your business into a brand new level after no effort is kind of insane. And that is where most entrepreneurs go wrong. And then they fall for not only delegating, but like I said, they fall for shiny object syndrome. And then they start doing the worst thing, which is fixing things. Nope, I got to stop trying to use this pencil. I can't figure it out. Got to do some tutorials. Fixing things that aren't broke. All right, so fixing shit that isn't broke. I just did this. I had an ad that I'd only ever spent $500 on, that I had spent $2,000 on and turned that into $24,500, okay? Now, that is a 10x return on ad spend, but I turned that ad off because it didn't have any client testimonials in it. All right. And so since it didn't have any client testimonials, I assumed that this must not be the one I need. I just got to redo the ad, get it with some better filming, some better editing, and then add in all these new clarity testimonials I have, and then I'll be able to really pop off. Well, the truth is that none of the ads that I made with testimonials ever have performed as good as this one that I made when I first started. Because of my outcome obsession and trying to hit that Insta 50K month, I was so focused on this that I turned off a money printer. Not only that, in this area of my life, I had absolutely no discipline. I was completely depressed. I was in some of the biggest weight I had ever been in, and I felt as though every day I had this incredible amount of pressure. So this is where this happens. When you really do this too much and you build those big old lists, it starts to fill up like the pressure mountain. Okay. And the more and more pressure you have, the more that you procrastinate. I want you to really remember that and write that down. Pressure equals procrastination. Okay. And in this stage, I was doing nothing, and I would only do this every once in a while whenever I was motivated. And that is not a lot of the time. If you're waiting for to be motivated when you're doing anything in business, you're only going to get about 10% of the things done. And so here I am today. Now I have systemized my business. We're on deep work activities, content, social media, outreach, whatever. I am truly only spending less than 10 to 15 hours a week doing these type of activities. Honestly, most weeks it's less. I spend most of my time either talking to clients, shooting content in a setting that I would already be in. So I'm just recording my life. And then Being with my kids and family. This is the business that I wanted to start. I don't know about you. A lot of us get into business wanting time freedom, and then we build our business and set it up in a way to where you make sure you'll never have it. You don't have to make as much money as you think in order to have time freedom. You just need to have a business that doesn't require your direct hours every time, or you need to add something into your business that can be scaled that adds no more hours into yours so you can replace yourself and finally be the owner, not the operator of your business, because this is impossible to scale, right? And so what I realized was I came across this idea of breaking things up and understanding of a way to look at it. But more importantly, it was something that allowed me to let go of the guilt of not being where I want to be within business at any point in time, okay? Not being at the 50K month just because I've posted all these videos. Not needing the ad to pop off and trying to shut it off early, because I understand that if I get consistent eyeballs to my offer and abilities, that I will naturally find the clients, and it's just a numbers game. So if I spend enough consistently, I will have the consistent amount of eyeballs to then I can improve on my conversion rate from those. All right. So and what you can see, maybe because I was trying to be too light skinned here, is the smile and the peace that I have had, because I am now able to actually rest and recover when I'm not at work, because I don't feel like I have to get anything done outside of the 3x3 method. Okay. So now you guys kind of have the context. So let's just go ahead and teach you how to do it real fast now. I'll pull up to this blank space here. Whoops. And I'm going to try to draw it on here. You guys got to bear with me. This iPad's, it's temperamental. Okay. And I'm an uncle. Let's talk about the 3x3. So the long story short is understanding that in order to make true progress, you truly only need to do 3 things every week. Okay, that's it. 3 things every single week is all that is required to be able to systematically grow a company. Okay, this is why, because if you do 3 things every week and you go, let's say 6 weeks. All right, now this is going to result in 18 large changes to your business. Now, what key is, and we'll get into, is making sure that these things are true needle movers, like they actually matter. Okay, so let's just do a quick example together about what's a needle mover, what's not a needle mover, and an example and things I see people do all the time. All right, the color of your logo and the design of your school group or the design of whatever is not a fucking needle mover. The way that you call the name of your offer isn't a needle mover. Deciding what platform to put on these things is not a needle mover unless everything else is done. But so many people waste so much time on things that would never even move the needle in their business or life, even if they got it done. And to make matters worse, they don't get it done, like we talked about, because they put so much pressure on themselves. They stack up these long, big lists. Then they add on the guilt when they inevitably don't get it done. And it's one big cycle of burnout. Okay, but this is a very simple 3-step plan. Okay, so you want to do 1, create what's called a master idea list. So this is a list either on your notes app or on your phone that has literally every single one of those $1 billion ideas that come to us as an entrepreneur when you're sitting doing something else, and put it down. This is going to help you process your thoughts and not help you feel so frustrated, and help you slow down and actually get things out of you. And you can always look back and pluck things from it later. Second is to identify what are 3 needle movers. So what are the 3 things that if we do this week, we can get closer to our goal tangibly? And then you're going to do what I call the power list. So likely there's going to be more needle movers than 3. And so the power list is where you take another sheet of paper, right? And you go like this, and you want to put all the needle movers down in one area, okay? And they'll just kind of stack in a row like this. And once you have those there, what I do and what my clients do with their power list is we begin to color code, and this is why using something like Google Docs works better, what we need to do based on priority. So we're going to put the needle movers in green. Okay, we're going to put the secondary needle movers, or these are things that are important in our business, but they could really get done next week. No big deal. We're going to put those in yellow. And then we're going to look at this list and say, hey, these are needle movers, but they're in red because really these are probably ideas that I let slip through the crack in the master idea, and they probably don't really matter at all, and I don't need to put any effort or focus. So once you have completed this list, then you just need to do 3 of these things every week. And this is a 2-part of it, okay? You can't just do them. You have to also have no guilt and allow your frame of mind to be, if I get these done, I have moved my business forward. I've done my job. And this lets you rest. This lets you recover. This opens you up for abundance. This helps you be able to not think so silly and hold on to beliefs that are literally holding back your business. Okay. And then the 3 by 3 is in any given work day, when you're going to complete a task, you only need to focus, take the one task, break it up into 3 different parts, and then work on that day in 3 sections. Okay. So this is just a chunking and making it bite-sized. Again, you guys already saw how max this, but I just want to show you some more wins just to show you how powerful this can be when you really apply this. So Denise signed up for the program a little over 13 weeks ago. And at the time, she was doing 16 to 20K a month, convinced that it took more manpower to be able to scale her business, and that if she scaled, she couldn't do it because she didn't want to get all these little providers, what the case is. So what happened is we broke down her business and realized that one group of people was paying almost 25% of the gross revenue to the company. So I simply made the suggestion, how about we try to find more of those people? And as you can see, she said, I remember you saying we only need 2 or 3 more big groups. And I was like, yes, that would be hard. Okay. And this is right after she had just texted me above this that she had just got a brand new provider for 50 locations. And this is basically bigger than the one that she had already. And then following up our conversation, we had another one talking about how she needed to get a little extra 4K for a personal goal of hers. We'll talk more about that in her interview. And literally within 72 hours of me giving her a suggestion that she already had it, she got the 5K locked in, ready to go. Okay. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because Denise was never open to these situations or thoughts because she was so stuck in outcome obsession before joining the program. And by removing that and implementing the 3x3 method, in a couple of weeks, she delegated all of her normal working in the business task, has now been able to spend the last 3 or 4 weeks doing solely growing the business, working on offers, and talking every day with new clients. And this is making a massive impact. All right. Another one is my boy Phil, who has been crushing it with us for a while. Maybe you guys know this is just one of his businesses at 71,620. This is at the October 11th of the month. He's already rock and rolling on his way to get 2 of his businesses at 6 figures a month. And Phil was the exact same way. When he came in, he's very obsessed with the outcomes, very focused on how does he get what he wants right now. He was able to release that, attract incredible relationships, and build an incredible team and systems, being on call, still being there present for his kids, still having both of his business run on full time. And my favorite recent testimony is my boy Tanner, who Tanner also was one of the biggest examples of the outcome obsession. He had a bad deal go through where somebody was agreeing to basically shorted him by around the tune of $20,000, really set him behind financially. And the worst part was, because he was obsessed with the outcome of getting past that, he ended up spending the next couple of months sulking. We had one conversation where I gave him the suggestion to be able to do a different move with the offer, use what he just built for this company and go to their competitor, figure out a better offer. And as you can see, he's now ripping it with brand new. He's got 2 retainers that he's got, a back end deal, the 3K monthly, like he's really crushing it. And it was one frame. And he let go of the outcome of needing everything or to get that money back. Because if you focus on an outcome that you can't control, guys, like the client texting you back or the things going through or how fast your video goes viral, you will burn out and not have the energy to do it. If you focus on only doing 3 within a 12-week or 6-week period, you'll get 18 of these big needle moving tasks done. That's 18 video courses or new systems set up or new people hired or SOPs done, whatever it is that you're saying, man, if I could just get this done, my business will be done. But then that pressure is causing you to not do it. Just break it up, break it down. And I promise you get it done and you scale. So again, guys, that's been it. We got a little deeper on this than I planned. Lots of squiggles everywhere. If you guys want to know 3 other little hacks that I teach entrepreneurs in the problems, kind of breaking down outcome session all the way, you can check that out here. Follow me on IG if you guys want to talk and say what's good. I'm always there. And just DM me the word freedom if you want to join the group. We go live tomorrow. So this has been your boy. I hope you got some value from this. Peace, love.